Am I the asshole for telling people the truth about why I changed my last name and making my father look bad? When I go home to visit my family and friends in my hometown, I sometimes run into people who know my father, and they find out that I changed my last name. Many people assume I got married, but I tell them no, I changed from my father's to my mother's. I try not to give out more information than that, and I do not like having everyone know my business, but some people really press me for information, and if they insist on knowing, I tell them bluntly and honestly that my father mistreated me, is homophobic, stated that he never wanted children, and I was ashamed to carry any part of his name, but proud to have my mother's. I also tell them I changed my middle name too, from my father's first name to a name of my own choosing. My brother informed me that when I say this, it gets back to my father and stepmom, both of whom think I am cruel and heartless, and even my brother thinks I go into too much detail about the reasons and I should withhold information which he considers slanderous to my father and just say, I took my mother's name, and leave it at that. As far as I am concerned, my father does not deserve my kindness nor respect, and I should not hold back truthful information if asked. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Life has consequences, and you don't have to hide or be ashamed of the reason you changed your name. Boo-boo, a grown-ass man is mad his adult child wants nothing to do with him because of his own actions. Speak your truth. It's not slander if it's true. Not the asshole. Actual legal definition of slander, may vary by jurisdiction. Not the asshole. You try to keep it to, I changed to my mother's name. Nosy people get pushy and get more than they bargained for. I would want nothing to do with a man like that either. Your father was cruel to you. If he doesn't like it, then he should have done things differently, but since no one can go back in time, he should make an effort to do what he can to make things right between the two of you. He reaped what he sowed. Not the asshole. Your father doesn't deserve to get to tell you are unwanted and unacceptable when you are in the vulnerable position of a child, and then get to expect you to continue to allow him to let people think of him as your father when you are old enough to do something about it. Good for you for doing something about it and not hiding your truth. Edit. I'm still thinking of you because this hits very close to home. I want to add something. I was told many of the same things as a child, and then later as I grew older, that I should at least be grateful for the meager things my immediate family, namely my father, did do. I'm going out on a limb here and assuming this also applies to you. Gratitude is a choice, not an obligation. It is a gift from you and you do not owe it to anyone. Not the asshole. It is your last name. It is your choice. It is not any of their business. I am assuming that your father hurt you badly in his actions from your post. As such, you are not the asshole. You are within your rights to control your narrative. It is also therefore your choice how you choose to share that narrative and with whom. Not the asshole. If your father doesn't appreciate the public knowing that he's homophobic and has mistreated his child, perhaps he should have considered that before behaving that way behind closed doors. He needs to own up to his actions and work towards changing for the better if he no longer wants to be seen in that light. You didn't make him look bad, your father did that on his own. Not the asshole. This happens to me a lot because I too changed my name. People get very pushy and I always warn them and they're like, yeah, I want to know. And then, I was sexually abused by that side of my family as a toddler. And they're aghast and say, I didn't want to know that. Well, you insisted. Not the asshole. Slander implies it's not true. If it is, then you're in the right to share your reasons if you want to. Nah. People wanna be nosy and ask, then what's the point in lying to them? Not like your dad ever tried to save your feelings. Especially when it comes to homophobia, sugarcoating the truth regarding someone's nature isn't deserved. At the same time, your family is entitled to their feelings, however delusional they may be about the past that they likely see through rose-tinted lenses. My sister's dad is a similar way, has told her that she's dead to him and that she should change her surname because he wants nothing to do with her, didn't want kids, etc. etc. Joke is on him because he's adopted, so my sister is taking his biological father's surname. After nearly 20 years, the name sounds like her. I hope you found as much liberation in taking back your identity as she has. Info. You're running into people who find out you changed your name. How exactly does that even happen? You go to your hometown and see Susie in the grocery and she asks your full name. No. Not the asshole. It's your name, and you should feel comfortable with it. Lots of people with childhood PTSD, me included, change their names because they don't like the sound or feel or their old ones. It's not their fault, it's the fault of the people who abused them. Not the asshole. I have a feeling your father likes to control things, including the narrative about him or his family. You have every right to tell people your side of things. If he wants to bitch and moan about it, well, that's his problem. Homophobia cannot be tolerated, especially towards one's own children. I'm of the opinion that parents that are homophobic and seek to bully their children should go to jail and then forced into therapy afterwards, as well as some diversity training, but that's just my opinion. Hopefully the town starts to treat him as a pariah, maybe then he'll get a fraction of the taste of what you had to deal with growing up. Nice. I also changed my last name from my father's to my mother's. For me it was more in recognition of Mom's individual effort as a single mother, not disdain for my non-custodial father, with whom I had a fair adult relationship by the time I made the name change. And I did it so that my upcoming wife and children would carry Mom's name. TBH, skip all the family angles and renaming and whatnot. The way I see it is, you're casting shade on a bigot, which is a categorical good. Anyone who complains about it is bad. Bigots are always the asshole. Not the asshole. No assholes here except your dad. You are not the asshole for the reasons you stated. Your brother is not the asshole since it sounds like he lives in that town and has to deal with the fallout, gossip, which can be a major drain on a person, and him asking you to stop putting him in that position is a reasonable request. Doesn't mean that you have to honor it, just that he's not the asshole for wanting you to stop. Not the asshole. If it was slander, your father could sue you for it. Slander is not saying true things that hurt someone's reputation. Not the asshole. Your father is an awful person and people deserve to know that. I don't like shitty people, so I'd be glad if you told me the truth, because in this way I could avoid your father and his wife. So thank you. I also think that it's unfair that people are free to be mean to others behind the curtains and never pay the price for their actions. What's really cruel and heartless is what your father did, said to you. You personally didn't do anything wrong, he did. It's TMI. I wouldn't want to know more beyond that you took your mother's name, unless we were confidants. That you changed your name in itself says a lot. If people are so rude as to continue to press you, do as you wish, but I hope you're not vomiting this on casually askers. Don't want to be called homophobic asshole? Then don't be a homophobic asshole. Not the asshole, he is deluded to think you owe him shit. NTA. Does it matter? Why do you ask? Should handle most people who ask carelessly. Even my brother thinks I go into too much detail about the reasons and I should withhold information which he considers slanderous to my father. For it to be slanderous, it has to be false. If your father didn't want people knowing he was an abusive homophobe, he shouldn't have been an abusive homophobe. Not the asshole. I don't think you are the asshole for telling people when they really press you, but there is a better way to go about it and keep your business private. I would just say, I prefer my mom's name, or, that is private, and leave it at that. If they continue pressing you, just leave. Not the asshole. I'm the type of petty asshole who would start being more open about why I changed my name if I were in your position. Your dad can sit there all day and repeat to himself, well, if it isn't the consequences of my own actions. I meant I'm pretty private, so like I would just say I changed to my mother's maiden name because I wanted to, but your father made his bed and now he faces the consequences for being a poss. Not the asshole. It's odd that abusers plays victim every time they either get called out or outed as an abuser. It's only slanderous if it's not true. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, a bit of an overshare, but so am I, so I don't blame you. The truth hurts, and if people insist on the truth, then tell them the truth. If your dad didn't want to be seen as a bad parent, then he should have been a better dad. Not the asshole. It is a little much to info dump on folks, though. I would suggest, my mother was accepting of me when others were not, and I want to honor the fact that she's been my biggest supporter. It drops the hint that your father wasn't without being quite so much. But then, it's a nosy question, and if the info dump is cathartic, you do what you need. NTA. The people pressing you are. Anytime people press me for info, I ask them what bill of mine they wanna pay this month. Usually shuts them right the hell up. Not the asshole, you're telling the truth is making your father look bad. Not the asshole. Only one person made your father look bad, your father. If he didn't want you telling people that he's a bad person, then maybe he shouldn't be a bad person. Not the asshole. Actions have consequences. However, when going forward, if you truly value the privacy, you can simply say that you changed your name from your father's to mother's. When pressed, you can say the following: "It's a deeply personal and it's not something that I feel you need to know." People need to learn to respect boundaries. Not the asshole. It's only slanderous if what you say isn't true. Not the asshole. It's only slander if you're lying. You don't make someone look bad by telling people the shitty things they did. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Every time you hear that last name in connection with you, I bet it upsets you. It upsets me. Which is one of the reasons I changed my last name. Keep doing what you're doing. He can go cry in his Cheerios. Congrats on your new name. Not the asshole, but I always think it's kinda tacky to put your business out there like that, so I get why your brother is embarrassed. Not the asshole. In fact, I recommend doing it more. Tears of joy. I don't see a need to air one's dirty laundry, but on the other hand, I don't think you are the asshole either. Neutral. I do think that maybe deep down you get some private enjoyment on hitting back at him, which he deserves. But it's healthier for you not to. You are better than him. Unfortunately, and I am sorry, that's your truth, and as such, you have every right to voice it. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Being homophobic is more cruel and heartless than explaining your name. Not the asshole. It ain't slander if it ain't a lie. He made this bed, he can lie in it. Not the asshole. However, absolutely no one is entitled to insist you divulge the details about why you changed your name. It's private. Is all the answer you need provide. Repeat as necessary. Never be scared to tell the truth. The truth shall set us free and the good will out. Not the asshole. It's not slander if it's true and he's only upset because people are learning how shitty of a person he is. Not the asshole. You have every right to tell people the truth about your father. That said, is there a reason you don't tell people to mind their own business when they are asking intrusive questions? Not the asshole. Tell brother to blame the people who kept pushing for a reason other than, "I took my mother's name," and to blame father dearest since you are only repeating what he's done, said to you. Not the asshole. If people want to press you for answers, no one can blame you for telling the truth. It's easy enough to just tell people it's none of their business, but it's also up to you to tell your story. I know guys that were named after their fathers, either first or middle names, and they've always either gone by different names or legally changed their names to separate themselves from their abusers. Not the asshole. My husband and I no longer have any contact with his parents. After we had our first child, a lot of people asked us how Mill liked being a grandma, or if she was excited. We would very bluntly tell them that we have no contact with her. If they pressed, we would give details. I wasn't going to cover up the mess she caused with her hate and horrible behavior. It wasn't my job to project her, and she certainly didn't care when she was being needlessly cruel to us. Keep doing what you're doing. Tell your brother to go fuck himself.